Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of Dan Tony Sports. My name is Dan Snyder. Tonight, I'm joined by Dan O'Shea. How are you doing tonight, Dan?
I'm doing well. Happy to be back after my 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, how's your head feeling? The concussion protocol. Unfortunately, Tony could not be here tonight. He did give us some notes on what he wants to say. So we're going to get right down to it. Tonight, what you're going to be listening to is us giving our 5 top sports movies. Now, sports we're defining as anything athletic. So it's very loose interpretation of what a sport is. I thought anything that's on ESPN could be listed as a sport. So if you're into Aquila and the Bee, spelling bees on ESPN, it counts.
Oh, man, that just widened things a lot, actually. I kept it pretty wide, though.
Yeah. Before we get into the actual list of sports movies, as always, we have our pigskin poetry. For a few years, you were more than good, but you happened to fail more than you should. You roamed the sidelines pretending you broke, but your career has become a joke. Your arm is strong, that got you through. There's so much you couldn't do. Like get to the playoffs, let alone win. The most average quarterback there has ever been. Got kicked out of Denver, in Chicago you stunk. Your attitude sucks and you're such a punk. But now it's over with Fox Sports you'll be. You lost your job to Mitch Trubisky. Obviously that's about Jay Cutler.
Yeah. I knew that about the second line in, I think.
Yeah. All right, so we have a fun show. This is going to be a really fun one. Like I said, we're going to be discussing our top 5 sports movies, and we will have some honorable mentions as we go along. We're going to do this in a round-robin type style. I'll give my number 5. Dan will give his number 5. We'll read Tony's number 5, and we'll go through like that until we get all the way down to the end. So, Dan, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, so number 5. My number 5 sports movie is Rocky III, 1982 film starring Sylvester Stallone as Rocky Balboa, the main protagonist, Mr. T as Clubber Lang, the main antagonist, and guest starring Hulk Hogan. In addition to giving who we are going to be, or the movie that we're talking about and who's in the movie, I took the blurb from IMDb for all of mine and Tony's. So I will let you know if anything changes, but the blurb you can just understand as being from IMDb. Right? IMDb says, after winning the ultimate title and being the world champ, Rocky falls into a hole and finds himself picked up by a former enemy. Now, have you seen the movie Rocky III?
Yes. It's been a while since I've seen that particular one. I think I've seen all of them except for the shoot-off Creed. I haven't seen that yet, though I heard great things.
Yeah, Creed I didn't see either, but I did watch parts of it, and I gotta say, Michael Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B.
Confused.
Jordan. Yeah, he's a great actor. I'm very, very impressed with the poise that he had filling in a role that was created, really, but he was Apollo Creed's son, working with Sylvester Stallone as Rocky. It's got to be an intimidating, daunting role, and
right.
I think from what I did see, like I said, I didn't see the movie, he did a pretty good job. Now,
okay, so back to Rocky III.
I want to ask you a question. Since the movie was done so long ago, if we talk about this, you're okay with giving spoilers for all these, right?
I think if the movie is over...
I think it's over 5 years.
I think we're going to give spoilers for all of these, so, just skip ahead if you don't want spoilers. But, this movie's older than we are, I think. So.
Oh, yeah, 1982.
Yeah, so I think it's okay to spoil it.
I think it was the best of the Rocky movies. I didn't really like Mickey, so I'm not too upset that he died, but I loved Apollo Creed, so I loved seeing him. Just the battles they had in the first one, the bitter enemies, the rivals, for Apollo to come back and be his trainer. I thought it was just sweet. What's the word I'm looking for?
Redemption.
irony, I guess. Sweet irony, if that makes sense. Mr. T was awesome as Clever Lang. Watching him work out in doing the...
He was a monster.
Oh, my goodness.
And now he's on Dancing with the Stars, or I think he was. I don't know. My girlfriend watches that. And
Shout out to Fendi.
He looks very slow and old. And
he pities the fool that don't know the bachata.
That's true.
So definitely the best Rocky movie. Sylvester Stallone's best work. I'm excited to see Creed, even though I haven't seen it yet, because, like I said, I do like Michael B. Jordan, and I think they're going to be making more Creed films.
I think so as well, based off of the success of this one, and I heard it's a worthy continuation. One could argue that the most recent Rocky movie wasn't, so maybe this is where they go.
All right, yeah. So I think that's enough of Rocky 3. Dan, what do you have for your number 5?
I have Happy Gilmore. It's one of my favorite movies. It is a golf movie, but it's a comedy with
it's also
Adam
hockey.
Sandler. Yeah, that's true.
It's all
one
in the hips.
of Adam Sandler's good movies, since there have been so few since the 90s. The blurb is all Happy Gilmore has ever wanted to be is a professional hockey player, but he soon discovers he may actually have a talent for playing an entirely different sport, golf. When his grandmother learns that she's about to lose her home, Happy joins a golf tournament to try and win enough money to buy it for her. With his powerful driving skills and foul-mouthed attitude, Happy becomes an unlikely golf hero, much to the chagrin of the well-mannered golf professionals.
What was his name? The
Shooter McGavin?
Shooter McGavin. Yeah.
Christopher McDonald plays Shooter McGavin. He's
Bob
the
Barker.
villain. Yeah, Bob Barker is in there as well, and he and Happy, of course, have a great fight. Julie Bowen is the love interest. She's now in Modern Family. She's Claire in Modern Family.
I hate that show.
Oh, you're silly. And Carl Weathers is his coach. Chubbs.
It's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips with the famous gator. I just think this movie's hilarious. Anytime it's on TV, I can watch it. I just give big ups to it.
It's a good movie. It's not Adam Sandler's best sports movie.
What would you say is?
Oh, The Waterboy.
Oh, I didn't even... That should have been it. Actually, that's what I thought of last week when we were talking about this, and it totally slipped my mind. That would have been it, actually. I love The Waterboy even more than Happy Gilmore.
I didn't think of it either, so it's not on my list.
Yeah, all right. Well, Happy Gilmore's up there. Waterboy, probably better. So let's go with a mix of the two for my number 5.
Okay, yeah, not a problem. Now we'll get into Tony's. His is the 2005 film Coach Carter. Now that is starring Samuel L. Jackson as Coach Ken Carter. Controversy surrounds high school basketball coach Ken Carter after he benches his entire team for breaking their academic contracts with him. Not gonna lie, haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
Haven't seen it.
It's a good one.
I've seen maybe 20, 25 minutes of the movie.
It gets pretty intense. Samuel L. Jackson yells a lot and probably drops snakes? 18 F-bombs.
Anything about snakes on planes?
No reptilian creatures on aircraft in that one. It's a good movie, coming of age type thing with high school basketball players and learning the value of teamwork, blah blah blah. But I like it. I think it's definitely worthy of being up there.
Okay, now what was the premise? Was it he benched 5 white players and started 5 black?
No, he benches his whole team because they're messing up academically. They're not, they're skating by in class because for a while they were just getting free grades from their teachers, and he wants them to be all around good people, players, and and realize that basketball is not going to be what many of them end up doing with their lives, because only a select few make it to college, and then obviously only a tiny percentage of that get to the NBA. So
Okay. All right. It's got a good lesson, I feel.
Yeah, good message. Definitely a good movie. Very serious.
Yeah, very serious. Serious isn't always bad, though.
No, of course not. A lot of these are quite serious, but
yeah, I mean, especially because a lot of sports movies are based off of true stories, and you don't make true stories off of the funny little things that happen every day. So, it is what it is. So, anything more to say on Coach Carter?
no.
All right, so let's recap our number 5. For me, it was Rocky 3. For you, it was Happy Gilmore / Waterboy. And for Tony, it was Coach Carter. All right, so now we'll move on to our number 4. My number 4 movie, sports movie, is Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Of course it is. I had that in one of my honorable mentions, I think. I love that movie, so great choice.
The film is from 2006, has an all-star cast, including Will Ferrell as Ricky Bobby, John C. Reilly as Cal Naughton Jr., Sacha Baron Cohen as Jean Girard, Michael Clark Duncan, Jane Lynch, Amy Adams. The list goes on and on for these great actors in this movie. So the blurb: number 1 NASCAR driver Ricky Bobby stays atop the heap thanks to a pact with his best friend and teammate Cal Naughton Jr. But when a French Formula One driver makes his way up the ladder, Ricky Bobby's talent and devotion are put to the test. All right, for those of you who love this movie like I do, like Dan does, it is definitely, I think, Will Ferrell's second best movie, I think. Number 1 being Anchorman. But his best sports movie, Semi-Pro, is good as well. Blades of Glory was Yeah. But this is definitely Will Ferrell's best sports movie. It's a really funny movie.
It's great. The kids are probably, one of the shining stars. I'm going to leap on you like a spider monkey.
Praying to Baby Jesus.
Yes, Baby Jesus. And only Baby Jesus.
Jacked up on Mountain Dew. Really good movie. Ricky Bobby, his friendship is put to the test when he's no longer on his NASCAR team, which I don't like NASCAR, so I don't really understand the team dynamic. I think it's an individual quote unquote sport.
So the same ownership of different vehicles. I don't really know either, but
yeah, I think it's
a fun one. So
I think it's stupid to jeopardize one of your athletes for the benefit of another one, quote unquote athletes. That's the one of the reasons I don't like NASCAR. The other reason being it's just boring.
They're making a left turn, another left turn, and yet another left turn.
So, quick question, because I was battling with this. Is NASCAR a sport?
I kind of think it has to be, because then if you say NASCAR is not a sport, you say every racing type of event isn't a sport.
Well, they're not the athlete. They're not running. They're not jumping. I mean, with horse racing, are the jockeys athletes? No, the horses are.
Yeah, but it still takes a lot of skill and precision to be a driver.
Stupidity.
And they lose, as much sweat as any NBA player in those hot vehicles and everything.
So do people sitting in church in Louisiana.
Yeah, but they're not, precision driving a couple 1,000-pound murder machine. So
couple 1,000-pound murder machine.
You heard it here, folks.
I love it.
Here first.
Couple 1,000-pound murder machine. All right, like I said, number 4, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Classic movie. I love it. All right, Dan, let's move on to your number 4.
My number 4 is Warrior. It's an MMA movie. It's got Tom Hardy, Nick Nolte, Joel Edgerton. Nick Nolte's not a fighter in it.
Nick Nolte.
The blurb is: an estranged family finds redemption in the unlikeliest of places, the MMA ring. Tommy, an ex-Marine with a tragic past, returns home and enlists his father, Nick Nolte, a recovering alcoholic and former wrestling coach, to train him for Sparta, the biggest MMA tournament ever held.